An adult. Me. Seriously? Now, if you recall my 2020 Vlogtober vlogs, you might remember that it was 2 years ago to the day, today, I was running a bunch of errands, and one of them happened to be that I went to my office at work and loaded up all my personal stuff to take home because I didn't know when I was going to be getting back into the office, and I knew I was within a year of retiring, so there was no point in keeping stuff there, and so I figured it would just be easier for me to just start clearing things out and getting ready to retire. But to my surprise, nothing that I had planned for on that day came to pass. First of all, I never did go back to that office. I was given a new post when we went back to work, and so I never did return to that office. And so in a strange way, clearing out the office was a good thing because I was going to need to do that anyway when I was reassigned, but I'd already done it. The second and even bigger surprise was I didn't retire because I got promoted. Now, the team that I was a part of, I now manage. You gain different insights on life the longer you live and the more experiences that you have. Getting this management position that I've been doing for several months now has really changed my view on a bunch of things. And probably the biggest change that's come about during this time has been my opinion of adulting. Adulting is a term Gen Zers love to use. Whenever they pay a bill or report to work or do something that they know their parents have had to do every day for the majority of their lives, they say, well, you know, I succeeded at adulting today. But it's been my opinion for a long time that the essence of being an adult has been taking responsibility for your own actions. When we're young and something bad happens, we just tend to blame everything around us. We never look at ourselves and wonder what we may have done that would have made us responsible for the problems that we're having. It's not us, it's always somebody else. And I felt for the longest time that the essence of being a real adult was putting all of that aside, putting away blame and looking at stuff outside of yourself to explain why something bad happened to you, and look at your own actions and take responsibility for the stuff that you did that got you into the mess that you are. Because if you're not willing to do at least that, then you have no chance of making things better for yourself. You have to be willing to take the reins and the blames for stuff that happens around you. Obviously, not 100% of everything bad that ever happens to you is your fault. But you can't ever allow that to make you take your hands off the steering wheel. Drive as much as you can. Make whatever changes you can make. And that's what I thought adulting was. But what I've discovered since I've become a manager is that this idea that being an adult is about taking responsibility for your own actions in your own life, even though that is a very healthy and important step that everyone should take, and you can't have a full rich life without taking that step, it isn't true adulting. It's the step that gets you to adulting. True adulting is about taking responsibility for other people. And that's why that first step is important, because without it, you don't get to the second one. If you can't take responsibility for your own actions, how in the world are you going to take responsibility for someone else's? But if you're going to be an adult, you have to understand that your actions don't just affect you. They're going to affect other people. And there are going to be people in your life that are going to depend on you. And if you drop the ball, they're going to suffer. It may be people who work for you. It may be a spouse or a relationship. It may be an elderly parent who can't take care of themselves anymore. It might be your own kids. But there are going to be people in your life that are going to depend on you. And if you let them down, they have no remedy. They are screwed unless you do what you've promised to do. And that can be really hard, and it can be a burden. But if you're able to shepherd these other people, if you can take care of them, sometimes even above your own needs, then you have the possibility of being something bigger than yourself. Because when you do good for yourself, it's for you. When you do good for other people, that carries on and it pays forward. And that's something that took me an awfully long time to learn. But I certainly notice a difference in myself now that I have.